Joining me today is Matt Grainger from Alpha Exploration. Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So I look at your company here, and it's very interesting to us because we have never spoken to a company from Eritrea, or Eritrea. Am I pronouncing it right?
Eritrea, yeah.
Eritrea. What can you tell us? What's it like operating there? What can you tell us about the jurisdiction?
Yeah, no, good question. It's not well known. It's a small country, 4 million people, size of England, so it's tiny, really. I think when you speak to people in the industry, some of the investors here, people remember it through Nevson. And Nevson was a big success. They made the Bishop discovery, and that went on to fund the acquisition of Reservoir, eventual sale to Xinjiang for 1.8 billion 6 years ago. So it's understood from that perspective. But beyond that, it's not very well understood. I did my first visit there back in February, and it was very, very peaceful, very calm, felt very, very safe, very different to other parts of Africa. And I think, we sort of answer the question when people talk to us about Eritrea. We say, well, the thing with us is the team have got a lot of experience operating there. So we have the former CEO of Nevson, John Clark, who was there during that discovery phase. Mike Hopley's the CEO. He was the CEO at Sunridge, discovered Asmara, sold that in 2016. And Alistair Smith, who was behind the Zara discovery, sold to Chalice, and lived in Eritrea for 18 years. So we kind of answer the question by saying we've covered that off, in the sense we've got that very deep experience in the company of operating and being successful there. But the key thing is, it's part of the Nubian Shield. It's part of a highly prospective terrain that's not been explored by modern exploration, a bit like walking into Kalgoorlie or Nevada 200 years ago. So it's highly, highly prospective. No one's really worked there before. That's why we're there. But because we've got that depth of expertise in operating there, being there successfully for the last 20 years, we feel very, very comfortable jurisdictionally. So we feel we can cover off that question pretty neatly.
Okay, so you have two main projects or prospects. One is a gold project. The other is a gold copper or copper porphyry, I guess we could say. What can you tell us about the projects? What does exploration look like?
Yeah, no. So yes, right. I guess the key project at Burner is a big gold system. The team were very systematic. We did a big soil sampling program. We followed up trench channel samples. So it's a 7 by 2 kilometer system. It's a huge system. And we've been drilling that for the last 3 years. We've drilled about 21,000 meters so far. We announced right at the start of PDAC, 18 meters at 15.33 grams per ton, 49 meters at 2.75 grams per ton. So we're hitting some really high grade material within that area. If you take the outline of Centamin Sukari project, which is in Egypt, which is about 11 million ounces indicated, you can fit that 6 times within that area. So we think that has the potential. In fact, we're quite confident that has the potential to be a multi-million ounce discovery, which is what we're going for. The porphyry project, the copper gold project, was discovered a couple of years ago. The first hole that was drilled was 49 meters at 2.4 grams per ton gold, just over 1% copper, which is an outstanding result. And that's potentially a big copper gold porphyry system. And there is also actually a VMS discovery, which could be another Bisha. So again, this is why we're in this part of the world. You can almost trip over these discoveries because no modern exploration has been done. The license was formerly held by Anglo Gold, and they did nearly $4 million worth of work there. But beyond that, there's been no modern day exploration. So, across the license, we have now 20 projects. Obviously, we're only focused on one, which is the gold project. But yeah, it's a fantastic endowment in terms of the potential to make discoveries.
And what does exploration look like for 2024?
So at the moment, funding-wise, we closed the second tranche of a $6.85 million financing back in April. So we're funded for the balance of this year. We planned 20,000 meters at that key gold project. So we're roughly about halfway through the initial 8,000 meters. So we'll have a lot of results coming out probably in August, September time. And then as we go to the second part of the year, or further into the second part of the year, we'll be drilling an additional 12,000 meters there as well. On the porphyry project, we are allocating about 2,000 meters there, so a small program, very disciplined. we have some very high priority targets there following a visit by an very experienced porphyry geologist about 8 weeks ago. So some really important targets for us to go after there. We're not going to draw attention away from the gold project, but we do want to put these holes in because they're quite important. And then I guess the third part is that we have a RAB rig turning up at site in August, September. So whilst we're continuing to define the main mineralization of the burner, we will also be looking to test the potential along strike for other high-grade gold shoots at that project, but also at the porphyry. And that is a method of drilling that allows us to very quickly and cheaply find other high-grade shoots within the system. So we're going to have a lot of work going through the rest of this year, a lot of drilling. We're also separately looking seriously at Saudi Arabia, given that there's a lot of emphasis on the Saudi government just now to get exploration in the country. So we also have a dual strategy to go into Saudi, same geology, and again, it's very underexplored.
What would you be looking for in Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia is going to be, again, it's going to be gold and the potential for gold, copper as well, the potential porphyry. So the fact we've discovered a porphyry on our license in Eritrea, it's only the second known porphyry within the whole of the Arabian-Nubian Shield. But we would be surprised if there are additional copper gold porphyries in that geology, potentially also in Saudi Arabia. So we'd also be looking for that as well.
Okay, well, Matt, I think you guys have a very interesting project. It's always exciting when we get to talk to companies that are trying to do things in places where nobody else is. And we appreciate you taking the time to do this today. And hopefully, as you guys continue to make a major discovery, you'll continue to talk to us and update us on your projects.
I hope so. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.